also wanted to bring up some Twitter wars.
Unfortunately, we have to discuss some negatives here. I'll say my piece on it first, just because I know a lot of these people personally, and I've talked to a lot of these people personally, and I consider a lot of them friends on both sides. So there's heavy controversy right now with Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson blocked Nick Carnes, who is a friend of mine. I've talked to Nick in person. Love Nick a lot. I think Nick is awesome. Nick has a very unique style of content. Obviously something that I don't do, with the poems and all that. But Nick Carnes is a great guy. He's awesome. I've spent a lot of time with him. Not a whole lot of time, but like at Browns games and such. I love Nick. Nick is great. But Deshaun Watson blocks Nick Carnes. That's a whole issue. Deshaun Watson's out here blocking a lot of people, which I thought was hilarious because some people were pointing out that Big Ben is actually unblocking a lot of Browns people, while Deshaun Watson, current Browns quarterback, is blocking people.
I actually have with Carnesy, an update. Deshaun's actually following him now.
Yes. Yeah. So Deshaun did unblock him and actually follow him. But nevertheless, it sparked this huge argument. And I'll just say this. I think Deshaun Watson has horrible people surrounding him. I think Deshaun Watson has a terrible camp around him. Not everybody. But, and this is not a call out. This is not meant to be disrespectful. But the fact that you have people like Chops just absolutely on his knees for him daily is incredible to me. It's hilarious how Deshaun Watson can do no wrong in the eyes of some people. And then on the flip side, in the eyes of some people, Deshaun can do no right. Like, it's hilarious to me how Deshaun Watson's time in Cleveland has been handled. And I just want to say this. If you're a grown man on Twitter begging for Deshaun Watson to follow you, stop. Like, seriously, stop. And I consider a lot of you who have done it friends. Like, I really do like a lot of you. So if you see this and you're one of these people and you think I'm calling you out, I'm not. I have no problem with what a lot of these people do. A lot of them run spaces of their own and do content of their own. That's fine. But the whole Deshaun Watson could do no wrong side of things is hilarious to me, because it's like, bro, at least for me personally, Tristan, we've been doing this podcast for a while. I think we've tried to stay as fair as possible on my channel. Since I started it, I've tried to just give my opinion and be as fair as possible. Have I been at all times? No. But listen, if you suck, I'm going to say you suck. I'm not going to kiss your ass. Like, I'm going to tell you suck. And if you're great, I'm going to tell you you're great too. Like, that is fair. That's what it should be. But unfortunately, in this fan base, there is a divide over stupid bullshit. And it's embarrassing as a fan of this team. It's embarrassing to the rest of the NFL and fan bases. And I know every team's got their own horrible fan bases. But my point being is, like, this is stupid. This whole thing is stupid. Deshaun Watson blocking people, stupid. Grow up. Like, who cares? Get off of Twitter. Stop searching up your name. Who gives a fuck? Like, respectfully, I tweeted this out. The problem with this whole thing, y'all don't need to be defending Deshaun Watson's play. What you need to be worried about is Deshaun Watson staying on the field. He has played 12 games for the Cleveland Browns. Yes, suspension is a part of it. Yes, injury is a part of it. We don't know. I don't think we can fairly say, hey, Deshaun is great, Deshaun sucks. I think we can't definitively give an answer there. But if you're out here begging him for a follow, that's some real clown shit. And that's embarrassing that you're out here begging for a follow, hyping him up 24/7, even when he's not great. Like, it's one thing to support. It's another thing to be on your knees. Like, I'm sorry. On the flip side, And I know that's going to get taken out of context. Again, I'm not calling anybody out. I'm just talking about the fan base as a whole. But on the flip side, if you're sitting here bitching about Joe Flacco day after day after day after day, you're also a clown. Joe Flacco is gone. He was never a part of this team's future, whether if you like it or not. He is an older, veteran quarterback who's been around the NFL for a long time. Joe Flacco isn't the guy. He's not a part of the future of this team. What he did for us was fantastic. He will forever be remembered as a Cleveland Brown. But if you're sitting here throwing a fit and just nonstop bitching at the fact that Joe Flacco's not here, it's just as bad as the other side. Like, this whole thing is stupid. It really is. It's stupid. If Deshaun Watson is worried about Joe Flacco and that whole side of things, which I don't necessarily believe is completely true. I know that's a narrative that's been pushed. If that is true, that's stupid. If it's not, so be it. Like, listen, we'll talk about the Browns signing Jameis Winston, but Joe Flacco wasn't a part of this team's future. And if you can't accept that, then I'm sorry. You're living in denial. You're living in the past. The Browns, Deshaun Watson's a quarterback. Deshaun Watson's a guy. He's going to be your starting quarterback. But the reality of the situation is this. You have 1 year. I know contractually that's not the case. I know financially it's not the case. In my opinion, you have 1 year to figure out Deshaun Watson. This is it. If he gets hurt again, I think the Browns look at other options. If he comes out and sucks, I think the Browns start to look at other options. But for this season, Jameis Winston is the backup quarterback. And guess what? Just to give you a quick preview of the free agency, he's younger, he's more athletic, and he fits the new offense better than Joe Flacco does. Context matters. I know you want to sit here and act like, oh, well, Joe Flacco's great for us. Well, guess what? Maybe Joe Flacco don't fit what they want to do now. You ever thought about that? That matters. So, I'm just so sick, and I know I've kind of gone on a rant here, and I'll shut up, but I'm just so sick of the dumb shit. And yes, it's Twitter, whatever. But again, my problem is I consider a lot of people friends. A lot of people on both sides friends. And the behavior of this fan base is unacceptable. Unacceptable. You got to look at reality. And the reality is, whether if you like it or not, whether if I like it or not, whether if you like it or not, Deshaun Watson will be the starting quarterback. Jameis Winston will be the backup. We're not Andrew Berry. We're not Kevin Stefanski.
DTR will be the third stringer. Yeah.
But we have no control over this team. We're fans, right? Our job is to be fans. We can disagree. We can argue. That's fine. But, I mean, it has gotten to a level that is insane. Like, bro, if I had control of this offseason, Jerome Baker would be a Cleveland Brown. Like, shout out to you, Chunk. But we, I don't know. I just think this fan base has a lot of problems. I think Deshaun Watson needs to reevaluate who he surrounds himself with. It's not good to have yes men 24/7 and all that. So I'll shut up. I'll let you go, Tristan. I know people will be mad at me for that. All I ask, just listen to the full context. I'm not calling out anybody. I'm not going on one side or the other. I'm telling you, both sides, get your shit together. Start acting like grown men, because there's a lot of grown men acting like children. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. So my take on this is pretty simple. I mean, listen, you're gonna have fans of all types, all levels of the spectrum, having an opinion and feeling strongly about it, whether they actually believe it, whether it's for clicks, whatever, right? You know, people want to follow from Deshaun Watson, like, okay, I mean, just like, I don't know. I don't have a strong opinion one way or the other, and I'm not saying your opinion's wrong. Like, it's just, for me, I just don't give a shit, man. I want to win football games. As far as Deshaun himself and like the blocking people and stuff like that, for me, I try to put myself in his shoes, at least when I look at this individual event. You know, like you said it. The guy got suspended his first year. The offense wasn't really built around him. Kevin didn't really know what to do to best utilize him when he came back. Excuse me. And then last year he had two separate times where he was starting to finally get a rhythm going. He was starting to finally get it together, and both times he got hurt. So he hasn't had an opportunity to really show us what he is, other than an injury-prone quarterback, or unreliable quarterback, I should say, due to suspension and injury. So yeah, if I was in his shoes, I'd be saying the same things to myself. Like, I haven't had a chance to prove myself yet, and I have so many people like telling me I suck, and that we should move on and all this other stuff. Yeah. Like, he's active on Twitter. He likes like posts of people who show him love and stuff like that. Like, maybe I wouldn't want to see the things that people are saying about me in a negative way. Right? Maybe I just want to use the platform to promote people that show me love, which he does regularly. I follow him. I see his reposts and his likes and stuff like that. Like, he genuinely tries to, show love to the people that show him love. Right. And I respect that, pro athlete,
Absolutely.
most of them don't do that and he does. So, so for me, the blocking thing, I don't give a shit personally. Right? I understand, listen, it can cause some drama, it can cause a mess, whatever. But if he blocks the people that give him shit, he's also blocking the people that are going to feed this to him. So, or the app that would feed it to him, right? Because those are also the people that will start the shit too. So for me, like, I just don't care, right? I don't care about what my quarterback is saying on social media, as long as it's not like morally
Crazy,
ridiculous stuff, Antonio Brown level shit, right? Like,
ESPN, dude. It's crazy.
Like, I don't care, right? About the stuff he's tweeting about. Really, I don't. I care about what he can do on the football field. Obviously other stuff that's gone off the field, like it's been rough when it comes to the surrounding context of Deshaun. And I'm not going to say I don't care about that stuff. I do. But it's just like, man, like, I think that Twitter, especially like Brown's Twitter, of course you got like the different ranges of people, but I also think that you just have a lot of people who have an ingrained mistrust into the Browns. And listen, I get it. We haven't really, won a Super Bowl or have had sustained success. What we've been doing over the past few years, like, we've been getting better. It's smart moves that, other teams in the NFL would love to do as well. We've been doing the right things. And, I don't think everybody's caught up yet. And it's clear with that Vrabes hire, like, people saying that, oh, he's going to replace Stefanski. Like, that shows the level of distrust that people have with this organization. People claiming and making stories that, Jimmy Haslam is, tinkering in everything that we do, it's not the case anymore, guys, So yeah, do I have a problem with what Deshaun did? No. Do I have a problem with the people who came out and said that they were upset that he got blocked? I mean, not really. They stir the pot anyways, so they're just doing their normal shit. And then, do I have a problem with the people that are like wanting a follow from him? I mean, that's just not important to me. If you want to follow from him, okay, whatever. To me, it doesn't have to be an issue, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I've been retracting from Twitter a lot. Like, I tweet a lot less now. I really do. I don't know if you've noticed, but like, I just try to stay off of Brown's, like, as far as that side of Brown's Twitter as much as possible, because I like to follow the reporters, like Mary Kay. I like to read up on what she's posting. Some of the other journalists around the team, I like to get their input. Like there's a lot of good stuff on Brown's Twitter. You just have to, dodge the BS, right? So yeah, I mean, just I don't care. If I'm being honest,
Yeah.
I want to win a Super Bowl.
Yep.
I
Exactly.
want to win a Super Bowl above everything, right? And Derek, I'm not trying to say this stuff to like, you know,
No, no, no. You're good.
to say that you're wrong, because again, it's just a matter of opinion.
Hmm.
Um, I it's Twitter, man.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna take it serious, and
Yeah.
I think that honestly, Deshaun blocking people, good for him. Get that negativity away from you, man. I only want people around him who are going to fill him with confidence and positivity coming into this year, because that's what he needs to be coming into this year,
Hmm.
because it's still going to be an adjustment with the new OC. It's still going to be an adjustment with Jerry Jeudy out wide, right? Like a lot of the stuff is stayed the same, but there's things that are going to be different to this offense. And you know what? Dude, surround yourself with the positive people, right? Surround yourself with the positivity, because you got to have confidence, man. Because there's still a possibility the Browns are playing the Eagles week 1 in Brazil,
Hmm.
right? That's a big fucking game, right? Like we need to that's a game where we could really start out on the right foot, and it could really set us good for the season to come. Like, be confident in your ability, and just be ready to show up for that week 1 game. Week 1, be ready to go. You know, and just we got to see the Deshaun Watson that we traded for
Yeah.
this year. However he feels he has to get it done, whether it's by spending extra hours in the gym, studying the playbook extra, studying the film extra, or just blocking people that fill his head with BS. Whatever you got to do to have a good performance this year, do it, because the excuses are done, man.
Yeah.
Um, I'm ready to see him have success, and start to pay us back for all of the shit that we traded him for, or
Yeah.
traded for him.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my whole take on it. Just let's talk about football.
Yeah.
Let's focus on football, baby.
Yeah. I
Because it's exciting.
I think again a lot of this, and the reason why I bring it up is because I personally know and have talked to a lot of these people for a long time, and all I'm saying is be better. And I'm not saying I'm better than anybody. That's not what I'm trying to say, but I just think it's
Yes, he
absurd.
is. Don't
No,
listen to him. He's saying that
no,
he's better
no,
than
I'm
every
not.
person on Brown's
No, I'm
Twitter.
not.
You look
I'm
at him. He can
not.
barely hold back his smile.
I'm
He's
not.
clearly
You're an
lying.
idiot. You're an idiot. No, I just think it's so stupid. It's just drama 24/7. And the reason why I say, like, with Deshaun blocking people, for me, and again, Baker did the same shit. So this is not oh, you're blaming Deshaun and not blaming Baker. No, Baker was terrible for it, or not terrible for it, but I think it was stupid from Baker doing it. And I think it's dumb, personally, in my opinion, for Deshaun to be going through and blocking accounts with 100 followers. Like, who cares? Like, who cares? If I'm Deshaun Watson, and again, I would disagree with you from this standpoint. I don't think there's a major difference between positivity and ass kissing. That's two different things,
Oh
because
yeah.
filling your head with confidence versus filling your head with you're the best quarterback, you're all this, best in the AFC North, best in the NFL. Those are two very, very different things. Deshaun Watson doesn't need to hear he's the best. What Deshaun Watson needs to hear is, hey, you're still that guy. You still have that talent, but you got to go do it. That's what Deshaun needs to hear. He doesn't need to hear you're the best, whatever. Like that. That's my biggest problem. I think a lot of this is stupid. Again, a lot of these people are my friends. I think it's stupid. I think it's dumb. I think it's a waste of time. But again, from Deshaun's standpoint, hey, nobody's talking about it. He just had shoulder surgery, right? When it was Baker, it was a big deal. Everybody was talking about, man, Baker's got to be healthy. But for whatever reason, with Deshaun Watson, everybody's just talking about his play. I want the guy to be healthy. I want the guy to be healthy, ready to go, good to go, in a good spot physically, in a good spot mentally, and in a good spot as far as what you mentioned, off the field, studying the new playbook, the new offense, the new additions, all those sorts of things. That's more important to me than, hey, Deshaun's the best and all that stuff. Don't understand where the priorities lie for, a lot of people. And I understand, like, if you hate Deshaun, that's fine. You're allowed to hate Deshaun. If you love Deshaun, that's fine too. You're allowed to love him. My point on Deshaun is I'm a believer in Deshaun Watson. I'm a fan of Deshaun Watson, but I'm not going to blindly advocate for Deshaun Watson. I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's going to be this. I can tell you what I think's going to happen. But there's a lot of people out here just whoring themselves out on Twitter and trying to get some attention from him. Like, listen, I don't care if Deshaun Watson wants to follow me or not. I'm going to criticize if I need to, and I'm going to praise him if I need to. Like, that's how it should be. At least in my opinion, it is what it is. We've spent a lot of time on this. Let's move on.